Hi, good morning. Nicole Joseph, Cupid for Business Lifeline Limited, and today we are talking about that very pesky problem that we call debt. Now, for most people, debt kind of have a negative connotation, and the reason for that is debt has a way that it can very easily go out of control. But that is not necessarily always bad, because if you need to acquire a particular large asset or grow, you often will find yourself in debt. So if you want to do a house, maybe a car, start your own business, that is almost inevitable. The problem with debt comes in when your debts exceed your earning potential. So then you are unable to meet your financial commitments in the timeline within which you are supposed to meet them. So if you are not able to pay all your financial commitments on time as promised, then your debt is out of control. How do you bring it back into control? Here are a few tips for you. First of all, we want to encourage you subscribe to our channel so that you can also get future tips in terms of managing your finances and your business. Now, tip number 1, stop borrowing and stop seeking to acquire additional assets by credit. You are only making the situation worse. If you are unable to meet the commitments that you currently have, and then you find yourself and then you seek to borrow even more, there's no way mathematically that that is going to improve your situation. The only thing that you have managed to do is to make your situation worse. So some may ask, what about getting a debt consolidation? But think about it. Is a debt consolidation actually reducing your liabilities, or is it just simply extending your liabilities and also increasing it? So you have to be very careful in terms of how you approach fixing your debt problem. But what guarantee I can give you is that increasing your debt will not fix it. Tip number 2, ensure that you have a written budget that you use. Because very often people write a budget, but do they use it? Do you actually go back to it to compare what you plan to spend versus what you actually spent and what was the reason for the differences? Most people don't. And if you're not doing that aspect of budgeting, it means that your budget is a little bit useless in terms of it being ineffective in helping you to control and manage your finances. Tip number 3, make a comprehensive listing of all your liabilities. Don't just have it in your head. Put it down on paper, list everybody that you have a financial commitment for, and also on that list, you will want to identify those that carry the highest interest um, paying credit. So, for example, things like hire purchase, things like your credit card, or loans from finance companies that are on a significantly higher rate than your commercial banking rate. These you would want to identify because these are the debts that you would want to ensure that you are liquidating any arrears first. Then, next step, you need to list out all the arrears that you have. So you're making a list with two things. Your current commitments, what are the commitments that are due every single month, and what are the commitments that are currently outside of that range in terms of arrears. So essentially, when you budget, you have to budget to meet your current commitments, and out of the surplus from your budget, then you will now look at liquidating whatever arrears you have accumulated. And more than likely, it is going to take you some time to be able to liquidate your arrears. It's not going to just disappear in a month or two. So, recovering from debt requires significant discipline. It's because of a lack of discipline very often we end up in debt. And in order for us to move from that position, it means that we have to change what would have gotten us there in the first place. So you must Now exercise the discipline of control and making sure that you do your budget and that you try to make every single effort possible to stick to that budget that you create. You want to remain current with all your current payments so that you don't go into any additional debt. And most certainly, you want to ensure that you stop borrowing. For further assistance or for more information, you can also get in contact with us at www.businesslifelinett.com or call us at 235-4255 for further assistance today. Have a lovely day from Business Lifeline Limited.